On tonight's program, we seek to answer a question absolutely nobody is asking. Can a hi-fi system ever be a piece of art? To find out, the production team has sent me to Denmark to investigate Bang & Olufsen and how they've managed to remain the coolest stereo brand in the world. Bang & Olufsen was founded in 1925 by two engineering graduates, Peter Bang and Sven Olufsen, creating the first ever EC radio. While innovation became the corporate religion in the 1970s, B&O adopted it in 1957 when Ib Fabiansen joined the company. It was at this time that the firm started to focus on quality and design as a survival tactic to the influx of cheap Japanese electronics.
In 2001, they missed out on the opportunity to enter the MP3 market, underwent a regime change, and began the Idea Lab concept, which is a department focusing on software, IT, and the virtual world. Corporate foci have also evolved with time, beginning with a focus on engineering innovation, then changing towards focusing on design and quality, and finally focusing on IT software and virtual development.
Bang & Olufsen's primary product line are high-end audio and visual equipment, but they also have strategic partnerships with mobile phone manufacturers to come up with models, as well as car manufacturers to design and install stereo systems. They also produce their own aluminium for their products as well as for business-to-business sales.
Technological innovations in their products include intelligent audio systems that can determine their own position in a room and emit sound accordingly. Likewise, televisions adaptive to differing light conditions. They also have TVs that turn and face to wherever the remote was pointing from.
The consumers are normally high-earning, design-conscious people, as well as businesses and filmmakers. The CEO once said, "Our clients are business or liberal arts professionals over 20 years of age, internationally oriented and appreciative of the finer things in life with a passion for perfection." In other words, footballers. The business-to-business facet brings in substantial revenue. They sell systems to hotels, property developers, and sound systems to luxury car and yacht makers.
Their two main markets are the UK and Denmark, but 82% of their revenue is derived from exports.
Bang & Olufsen's primary competitors in terms of stereo equipment are Bose, but in a wonderful show of bravado, the directors of Bang & Olufsen claim that the primary competitors are actually BMW and Mercedes, because only these two have achieved the fusion of engineering and style perfection and price in the world. Further, the products are so complex and expensive to make that they are generally held to be inimitable. The Beijing store of Bang & Olufsen, supposedly selling bootleg equipment, was actually selling real Bang & Olufsen equipment, just illegally imported.
Bang & Olufsen employ a pool of engineers from a broad spectrum of backgrounds, including materials science, acoustic engineering, and electronics, thus having all the skill sets they need in order to develop and manufacture most of their products in-house.
It's time to take it over to our tamed audio expert. Some say he has a French accent, although nobody has actually heard him speak, and that he has absolutely no sense of smell. All we know is he's not the Stig, but he is the Stig's Danish cousin.
They've invented adaptive power, acoustic lens technology, and ICE power. I have no idea what this means, but the Stug definitely seems to be enjoying it.
B&O follow an open innovation model in a sort of triumvirate working in integrated R&D teams. Independent designers based in Copenhagen bring in new concepts that screen for customer needs. Meanwhile, engineers in-house develop technology internally, but also rely on science networks with universities and other suppliers to source some technologies externally, ultimately linked to the designer demands. A great case in point was one of these bright geeks from the procurement department went to Porsche and saw that their technology to make exhaust pipes allowed them to make very interesting shapes and decided to make a banana-shaped phone. The third corner of the triumvirate is the Idea Lab, focusing on non-concrete ideas, such as software, services, and IT. The Gateway Master Link, where they try to integrate all of Bang & Olufsen's system in a house into one remote. All three insular groups meet on Fridays for roundtable discussions to bounce ideas. Designers lead innovation under the ultimate control of top management.
They are a flat organic organization based around the Idealand concept, where the designers are in charge of the concept or thesis, and engineers and manufacturing department provide the antithesis or fit the technology into the design. Together, they reach synthesis. The external network of universities and suppliers provide complementary inputs. Top management oversees and regulates. Since 2001, there is a group of anoraks in the Idea Lab creating non-material concepts.
Bang & Olufsen do not suffer from the innovator's dilemma, as their products create their own demand. They can be characterized as proactive innovators in design and active innovators in technology. Their products lie outside the industry life cycle because they are the best they can possibly be and last beyond the next technological generation. The global financial crisis has led to an overall decrease in sales for Bang & Olufsen, the response to which was to freeze the majority of their concept creations and concentrate on TV, audio, and sound system for cars. Future opportunities lie in China due to new wealth. Also, the westernization of Middle Eastern and Brazilian upper classes has resulted in more discerning tastes and thus demand for Bang & Olufsen.
In the long run, Bang & Olufsen should consider concentrating on fast production small consumer goods, such as your earbuds that have proven to be quite profitable in the past, or perhaps smartphones or even designing computer monitors.
A gentleman from the National Gallery once said that for art to be art, it can have no purpose other than its own. But we, and the fine people at MoMA, beg to differ. B&O says it is a challenge to create a blend between innovation, the future, and tradition, the past, as well as aesthetics and functionality. Finally, as B&O fanatics like to say, you can watch a B&O television for hours, and then you turn it on. And on that bombshell, that's all the time we have for this evening. See you next week. Good night.